I'm going to make a pair of pants for my son from this cotton flannel, and I'm going to use this pair as a template. First, you want to fold your pants like so. You want to fold one of your pant legs on its side seam, and this one doesn't have a side seam, but I'm just going to let it fold naturally. And when you do this, your inseam is going to be on the front side of the pants because the back side of the pants are bigger. I'm going to place the cross section of the crotch about 3 inches from the selvage edge. And you want to align the side seam on the grain of the fabric. In my case, because I'm using a plaid pattern, I'm going to align the side seam on one of the lines here. This is about 3 inches, and this is parallel to the selvage edge. I'm going to fold the fabric on this line and smooth it out nicely. If you're not using a plaid fabric, just measure the distance from the selvage edge in several places so that you can fold your fabric exactly on the grain line, which is parallel to the selvage edge. Now you want to place one of the pant legs again on the fold. So make sure you have a couple inches here and 3 to 4 inches here. Smooth out your template pajama pant over the fabric, but don't worry about this area because the elastic is skewing the area. We're going to take care of that later. I'm going to start from the hem of the pant. I want to add about 1 1/4 inch seam allowance to the hem, so I'm going to measure 1 1/4 from the edge of the pants and draw a line. Make sure this line is perpendicular to the folded edge here. Now I'm going to copy the inseam line, and I want to add 1/2 inch seam allowance, so I'm going to measure from the seam 1/2 inch and draw it on the fabric. Depending on how much back of the fabric you see here, you might have to lift the edge to draw the line. And from this point, I'm going to flare out toward the hem so that this distance is matching this distance when it's folded up. So for the hip area, if you stretch the elastic here, you can see that it's almost straight down. What I'm going to do is just copy this curve here. I'm going to keep this point here and lift the fabric, mark it here. But also you need to add 1/2 inch seam allowance here, so I'm going to mark 1/2 inch out from this point. So this is here and 1/2 inch out. I'm going to connect this point to the inseam line with a curved line like this. I'm going to mark the waist here, and I'm going to add about 1 1/2 inch here. Okay, now you can lift your template pajama pant, but I'm just going to keep it like this so that I can put it back if I need to. And from this point, I'm just going to extend the line up like this. It's parallel to the folded line, and I'm going to connect this line with a line that is perpendicular to the folded line. Okay, so this is the front of the pant. Now I'm going to draw the back pant pattern over this front pant pattern. So I'm going to look at the crotch area of the pant again and measure the distance between the folded edge and the inseam, and this is about 1/2 inch. you're going to add double of the amount here. This is 1/2 inch, so I'm going to extend 1 inch for the back crotch area. For the pant leg, you can do the same thing. Measure the distance from the folded edge and the inseam and double that amount and add to the front pant line. And this is about 3/8, so I'm going to add 3/4. Don't forget to flare out at the hem. Then connect the points with a smooth curved line like this. And at the waist, measure 1¼ inch from this edge here, and then measure 1 inch up, and then connect this point with this with a straight line like this, and then connect this point with the side seam of the front pant. So now this is the front and this is the back pant. And if you are making a bigger pants, you might want to check the distance here. And make sure it's matching with this distance. And if it comes out longer or shorter, you can adjust here. We already added the seam allowance, so I'm just going to cut on the line, but just the outermost line first. Here, make sure you're cutting the front pant line. And here I'm going to cut the back pant line. Now I'm going to open this up. I'm going to make this side the front side, so I'm going to cut off the excess here. You need to cut this. So this is going to be the back of the pants and this is the front line. I'm going to connect this corner to this back pant line. Then cut the excess off. Now I've cut out one of the pant legs, so I'm going to use this as a template and cut out the other side. But make sure to put the right side together so that you're cutting out the mirrored shape. And if you're using a plaid pattern or a stripe pattern, this is how you pattern match. You're going to move around the template side until it disappears into the pattern. Now you can cut out the other side with perfectly matching plaid pattern. I'm going to mark the wrong side of the fabric because this fabric is a little bit confusing. Now to make your life easier, fold and iron your hem at this point. I added 1¼ inch for the hem. So I'm gonna do 1/2 inch fold first, then 5/8. 1/8 of an inch is for turn of cloth. I'm going to go ahead and serge all the raw edges except for the hem. Actually, I'm going to fold and iron the waist. For the waist area, I'm going to fold 1.5 inch just once. I'm not doing the double fold for the waist because I want to avoid the bulkiness in the waist. This is the right side of the fabric and I'm going to fold it like this and sew the inseam. I'm going to open the seam allowance and iron. I'm going to go ahead and hem the pants at this point. You're going to open the seam allowance of inseam and fold the hem according to the iron work you did earlier. So I made 2 legs. I'm gonna turn one of them inside out and put this side in the other one. Now pant legs are together with right sides facing each other. So I'm going to sew this crotch area, but leave about 1 inch in the back so that you can put elastics later. You can see that the longer side is the back. I'm going to sew 1/4 inch from the edge, leave about 1 inch, and then start sewing again. I'm going to open the seam allowances, then fold the 1.5 inch at the waist, then make 2 lines of stitching to make 2 casings for elastic. Now we can put 1/2 inch elastic through these holes. What is that?
Foot dance.
Foot dance? You mean like a tap dance?
Mm-hmm.